All right, guys, what's up? We are back. I did a 72-hour fast, and I'm probably gonna make a video on this later on how it went, how I felt after. I feel absolutely amazing. But I wanted to make this video because I don't think I've made a very clear-cut video of, my story, my background, where I came from, how I do what I do, how far I've came. I don't think I'm anywhere in life. Not as far as I don't think I'm anywhere. I always think there's more and more to do. I don't think I've ever reached my full potential, but I want to be able to give you guys this as raw as possible. Pause, but you know what I mean. I don't want to do any editing. I don't care for all the fancy editing. Honestly, I just like spitball into the camera, being authentic, telling you guys what it is. But I will say these past 3 days has really gave me a clear-cut understanding of like my true vision, my path, what I want to do. And, being able to disconnect from my phone. Actually, I'm gonna just make this video about the 3-day fast as well. But being able to disconnect my phone, social media, it just goes to show you it's all a facade. Everyone's going to be on their own journey, their own path. Some things may not happen, sooner than others, but you can't compare yourself. And in the world that we live in, it's very easy to compare yourself. So I've realized that, being able to journal and being able to take down things one step at a time. And, all these months where it could, feel as if everything's not going your way, and then overnight, everything pops off. And to others, it's going to be hard to not notice that because it may seem like an overnight success, but it's taken years and years to get to where you are. And in my case, that's exactly what it's been. I've been in this game for about 6 years now, and let me tell you, I don't come from a lot. I came from a single mom who raised 3 boys on her own, jumping back and forth from house to house, job to job, and just trying to make it happen for us. And, all props is due, and it's given is to my mom and the man above, to be able to show me the way. And that's how I was able to get to where I am today. And at the end of it all, I'll look back at this video because she'll be retired, and I'll be a millionaire. I don't know when, never want to put a time or date on it, but, fairly soon. And I'm not a millionaire yet. I like to just speak those things to existence because I believe, what you want your reality to be has to become a vision first, and it has to be written down on paper. And that's just what I believe because throughout this whole journey, I've done that. I've journaled for the past 6, 7 years ever since I got in this game. And keep in mind, bro, I never had success in probably until 2 or 3 years in, like after I was in the game. And a lot of people see it as an overnight success. How do you start making the money you make? It's like, bro, I gave up a lot. Like I did a lot in order to get here. And my drive come from, seeing a single mom, drive an hour back and forth to work, trying to support 3 kids on her own, not having a dad in my life. It was just so much as a kid you would see. I mean, I would not you, but I would see, and it was just like, how could I ever give up? I have so much I need to accomplish and I want to accomplish, and she's my #1 priority. So that's what I'm working towards every single day. But sometimes it's okay to disconnect, zoom out, and kind of get yourself back onto point. So let's take it all the way back when I got in this game. I'd say 2018, 2019. Before this, I want you guys to know I worked, 22 9 to 5s before I was 18, 22 jobs. And it wasn't not because I couldn't keep a job. It was more as in like, I was just sick and tired of doing it, but I always wanted to make money. Before I even had a job, I got my first job at 14, but before that, I sold and collect cans. Every hustler's reselling, but mine was interesting because I would literally go out, find cans, go back to the recycle place and get paid 10, 15 bucks until we could actually get a job at 14. That was us serving and busting tables, me and my twin brother. And from there, it was just a rush of like, okay, I want to be able to support my mom. I want to be able to make money. I want to be able to spend money on my own. And I was forced to grow up sooner than I wanted to, but I didn't at the same time because I was still able to live a good child, life in a sense because my mom always made it work. She always made sure there was food on the table. There was nights where she never would eat. And, I want to make sure that she gets taken care of. And it's not, I want to make sure because she will. But, it started all 2019 when my boy introduced me to a book. And a lot of people know this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And after I read that, and the crazy part is I never even finished that book. It was just something that glanced and took my attention away where it's like, making money while you were asleep. What the hell? Who does that? How do you even do that? And that kind of led me down to a whole rabbit hole of just learning about this online business. My first couple business models, I had shiny object syndrome, and I dealt with that for a very, very long time. That was me jumping from Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing, just tons of different businesses, even drop shipping at a point in time. And years and years and years, I struggled with that. Like I couldn't stay consistent. I had a mentor once I got into the drop shipping, I made a couple of dollars, but there were just times where, flying from job to job, like, I don't know how I even worked that many jobs. I just did. Like, there was times where I would clock in and leave the job. I just couldn't stand still at a job, and I hated being told what to do. I hated being on other people's time. And the more and more I started getting older, the more and more I started realizing, I'm like, okay, I'm not worth $5 an hour. I'm not worth $10 an hour. There's something I can do differently because I'm seeing these other kids my age make this type of money. What can I do differently that they're doing? And that's kind of where I discovered the whole online money space. like I said, it took me years and years to actually start seeing real money. 3, 4 years in, I didn't make any money. If anything, I was negative. I think the most I've ever went negative in my account was 20 grand. And don't ask me how, I just did, because I was terrible with my money. And I still am at times, and I can admit that because I'm growing. But at the end of the day, you make more money to kind of solve all that, right? But anyways, years and years went on, trying to find shortcuts to success. I was trying to find how to make money through drop shipping correctly without running ads, because I absolutely sucked at ads. And from there, bro, it was like TikTok came around. That's why TikTok, and I'm so bullish on TikTok. And a lot of people are probably like, you think TikTok's gonna go anywhere? I'm like, probably not, honestly. TikTok's way too big of a platform just to shut down. Given the fact that TikTok Shop just dropped, there's so many big things going with TikTok. It's so hard to just shut a $100 billion company down just like that. So anyways, 3 or 4 years into the whole entire journey, like I always knew I'd be successful. I always knew I would figure it out and make it happen. Even with like back then when I would do dropshipping, I would fall for the automation, Amazon automation and shit like that. And that's how I was going negative in my bank account, because I always would try to find out a shortcut. But the beauty of this journey is you got to learn to embrace the hard times. Like there was times where, like I said, 4 years I didn't make money. I was losing money more than making money. And eventually that's when TikTok came around. And I realized, okay, you can market on TikTok. And I was actually told this from one of my friends. He was like, yo, just get on TikTok. And this is like very early on, before people knew you could do this. So I ended up posting a couple videos about my product one night, and it was a burning drop shipping laser. You guys can look it up. And the next morning, my life completely changed. The trajectory of just what I thought about money, the opportunity I've seen with TikTok, that all changed just in one night. And like I said, it may have looked like an overnight success to a lot of people, but it took me 4 years to finally get there. And I ended up doing like 120 grand in 2 days. And from there, I even slept with the ringer on one night, because I was just like, this isn't real. From there, it was just like, holy shit, like, what do I do? How I just got all this money, what am I gonna do? Of course, as you could imagine, I blew through it all, because it's a rite of passage when you're in e-com, I believe. But that's a memory that will never leave my mind ever. That night changed my life forever. And from there, I just kind of said, okay, holy shit, TikTok's going to be a powerhouse. And 4 years later, exactly what it is. I spoke it into existence. I knew it from the jump, the minute I endured that success. And from there, I was like, okay, how can I do this for brands? From there, that resulted in 4 years later, 500 million views, millions of dollars in revenue, and making multi-six figures, anywhere upwards of $50,000 to $100,000 a month just from TikTok. So like the journey itself has been something where it's like, I love to share. At first, I didn't want to share this journey simply because I didn't really, I'm not saying like I have it all figured out, but like the trajectory of what TikTok's done for me and people around me, even my boys, it's absolutely crazy. And for people to think that TikTok's going to disappear overnight, it's not. What I do is basically I take on brands, I take off their main account, and I blow them up on TikTok. It's called Content Amplification, Content Amplifier, TikTok Organic, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, the goal ideally is just to make them go viral. I was doing that for myself, and I started to do it for brands. And like I mentioned, some of my biggest brands I would work for, I would generate $500,000 just all TikTok organically, and they would pay me 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month to do this. And from there, it all started with drop shipping and then figuring out one thing to another. And ever since then, I have not looked back. So this isn't the full on story, because if I share the whole entire story, this video will be 30 minutes. And one day I will do that with some higher quality camera, because this is all raw footage. But yeah, like I said, it's a life-changing opportunity. TikTok itself, I've taught thousands of people on how to do this. They make thousands of dollars. It's some 15-year-olds I see make $100,000 a month in high school. So like the opportunity is very, very, like, it's there. Like the growth operating shit you see, those are good opportunities nowadays. But like this is a skill that you will forever have for the rest of your life if you can grasp people's attention simply with products. Like people will pay you thousands, tens of thousands, if not millions, to do this. And as our economy, our creator economy is headed, the way that people's attention span is nowadays is absolutely insane. So take full advantage of it. You can take the same exact skill, go over, translate it to your IG, your YouTube, like I'm doing, building out a personal brand. You're not just subject just to products after that. I want you to realize that. But yeah, that's just the basis of the story in general. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, comment below. I do have a Discord where I do help people get started with something like this. We have killers in the Discord. Dudes doing 10K their first month of TikTok shop. It's crazy. But yeah, if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.